I just got a quick question. Um, how long is black people supposed to stay mad at white people? Like, I understand people from like the older generations that actually were subjugated to certain forms of abuse. But as far as like my generation, where we have access to all kinds of opportunities because of those older generations, I really don't understand why we need to be mad at white people. And I'm gonna be frank about this other point too. A lot of the things that we're mad at really doesn't have anything to do with white people. This is an example of it. Let's say for like black people who grew up in low income areas. Every time I talk to them, they always bring up slavery. Like the reason why their life was so hard was because of slavery, which is crazy to me because I'm like, what did slavery have to do with the fact that your parents were poor? And I ain't talking about like old school poor. I'm talking like the 2000s poor. I'm talking like everybody had a smartphone in their pocket poor. I go further. I'm talking like everybody got wigs and lashes poor. I'm talking like people going to the club poor. And you kind of got to excuse me because I've had a lot of family members that were much older than me. When they said poor, they meant like they didn't have any bread or they didn't have any water or they didn't have any food. That's like real poverty to me. Not only did they didn't have provisions, but on top of that, there were laws that made it difficult or even impossible for them to have access to things that people in my generation and younger have access to today. So like for example, like everybody likes to bring up like Jim Crow laws. Like there is no law today that tells me that I can't have access to something because I'm black. There's no law out there today that says I'm not allowed to do anything because I'm black. I understand there are systematic situations. Like, let's say if you take my grandfather had limited opportunity, therefore my father had limited opportunity, then it rolls down to me and I'm being affected by those limited opportunities, and that makes sense. But at the same time, even though I was dealt a hand from my history, that doesn't mean that I need to be mad at people who weren't dealt that same hand, right? It's just a matter of circumstance. And here's another thing. If you look at white people, like I've worked with white people, I've lived around white people, and they don't really got it that easy either. Like I see white people on the side of the road all the time, and I hear comedians and celebrities joke all the time and go, "Oh, what a waste of white skin! You had all this white privilege, and you ended up poor." Well, here's the kicker to that. Everybody's got it hard. Everybody out here is trying to figure it out. And I feel like Hollywood and mainstream media, really any kind of media, try to portray white people as if they have everything easier than everybody else. Not to mention, it's a lot of white people who are like first, second, third generation American. They haven't even been in this country as long as black people have. So a lot of them come over here with a fresh start and they got to figure it out and they got to get it out the mud. Then they got to pass it down to their next generation. A lot of times the next generation doesn't really pick up on it, but that's more of another conversation. What I'm trying to get up on is black people, like, we are always blaming other people and other things for the condition that we're in. Like, we make very poor choices. And yes, a lot of it does come from things that are out of our control. But I even have to argue with myself about that because at the end of the day, your life is your choice. In this country, the age of adulthood is 18. Once you turn 18, whatever it is you decide to do, that is your business. No, nobody care about how you grew up. Nobody care about the opportunities that you did not have when you were 17 and below. Once you're an adult, it's up to you. I don't care why you did it. All that matters is that you did it. And a lot of times black people feel like they're the exception to this rule. Everybody else has to be accounted for in everything that they do. But black people, on the other hand, always feel like somebody has to answer for why they ended up in the condition that they're in. And then when you get few black people like myself that actually take accountability for everything that I do, and for the positions that I'm in life, whether good, bad, or indifferent, oftentimes I get called white for that, which is funny, which lets me know that if you're black, you can't take accountability. If you're black, you can't speak proper English. If you're black, you can't have a social connection with other people. Those are like white traits. So it's like, black people, how long are white people supposed to feel guilty? How long are white people supposed to be the ones to blame for all your circumstances that are 100% in your control? Leave in the comments below. Peace.